everybody, Phil Clemente here, Air Filtration Solutions. Today I want to talk about Las Vegas. So all summer I've been coming across articles talking about how tourism is down in Las Vegas and how there are a lot of facilities struggling financially, looking to cut costs wherever they can. Back in the mid 2000s, I really worked that territory hard. I really did. As a matter of fact, from the Luxor all the way to the Venetian, I managed to convince every facility, I think just about every facility on the way down, I'm talking resorts, casinos, to try our filters out because I found out some wild information. At least it was wild to me being in this industry. How often filters were being changed, and that you don't really have, Las Vegas really doesn't have a selection. I mean, all you have available to you are conventional products, technologically decades old. I mean, 50, 60 years old, very primitive. Then, after a while, I realized why. There's really only one company out there that has the bulk of the business, like 90%, 80, 90% of the business out there. And as frequently as all these facilities are changing filters, I guess I would do everything in my power to make sure that never changes too. But times change. We're in 2025 now, and technology has changed. And I'm shooting this video for Vegas just in case anybody out there wants something better. So before I even started, I approached Fiberbond, told them my plan, and asked them if they would donate filters to a facility that would agree to try them out. And they did. So once they agreed to that, I was off and running. So for starters, I was pleasantly surprised that it was pretty easy to get appointments with these guys. I met a lot of nice guys, a lot of cool characters. It was really a fun time working with these cats. And but anyhow, from the Luxor down, every hotel resort selected a unit and tried our filters. So during this process, I would just keep moving to the next facility, move forward to the next facility. And I learned a lot. One thing was, it was amazing the frequency in which filters are being changed in these facilities. Pleated filters changed on a monthly basis. Bag filters changed on a quarterly basis. Budgets over $100,000 for filtration. And then I find out that it's basically one company out there that has about 80, 90% of this business. So then it all made sense why Las Vegas is suppressed. And I hate to break it to you guys, but you really are. There are products out there better than what is available to you. I could understand why the manufacturers and the distributor there doesn't want change. I'm here to tell you that there are better products available to you that will cut your budgets in half. How do I know? Because I already did it. In this process, I got one facility to use my products for a good 7-8 years, until recently there was a regime change several years ago. And it happens, you know, that they're more familiar with pleated filters and that criteria, so that's what they went back with. But I want to share you the success that I achieved, because not only did I get a hotel casino, but I got a big hospital out there as well for a number of years until a regime changed. But I documented some of the things that I found. I'm not going to tell you which facilities, but take a look at these pictures. So this is one of the facilities that tried us. They had two-stage filtration, pleated pre-filters and 65% bag filters. And again, look at the condition of the coils. I mean, I don't even know how it gets like this, but you know, they had to clean everything up, and then we had installed our filters, and again, our pre-filters, our panels lasted, if I'm not mistaken, like 4 months, 5 months, and then our bags a year. And at the end, we crunched all the numbers. The guys put a report together, took it to their managers, and it was shot down. So, I don't know why, but look, here's a picture of what it looked like when we finished. I also managed to survey a facility. Wasn't a resort casino, it wasn't a hospital. Not going to say what it was because it would give it away. I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but um, here are some pictures of what I saw there. And to be honest with you, it's not any different anywhere else in the country that I go and look at filters. No different. Check this out. So this facility was huge. Uh, so one of the air handlers, V-Bank 4-inch pleated filters. Look at this. I mean, as you could imagine, coils would get dirty pretty quickly. They'd have to clean them up. These are 4-inch V-Banks, and we were able to get our links in these with absolutely no issues whatsoever. Right here, check that out. They're cut to fit, so you're not going to have any gaps. You're not going to need any spacers, anything like that. You got a complete seal both around and between. We were even able to use cubes in an air handler and replace the 4-inch pleated filters right here. Got a year out of them versus 1 month. Took it to the upper management, and it all got shot down. I mentioned that I got a hospital over there. Here are some pictures of that. Now, this is the first unit this hospital tested with our products. Take a look at the pleated filters and the coils, the color. You could totally tell that in the high desert, it's desert dust that's the problem. But these guys ended up hiring us to come in and change our pre-filters every 3 months. But look what happened before. Look what we found. I mean, this is typical of pleated filters. That's why systems become contaminated. But after they washed everything, we installed our filters and started our PMs. Every 3 months, we came out and changed filters. After about 6 months, this is the condition of the filters, dirty, and I ended up getting this great picture. Now, pause this because this tells an incredible story. Look downstream. I removed two links, the top two links, and you just look downstream and you could see how clean everything is. And look upstream at how dirty everything is. Now, you wouldn't get this with pleated filters. You would get the same conditions upstream, but downstream would be much dirtier. So this tells a huge story, a big difference on how our products performed versus conventional pleated filters. As far as final filters, this is what they were using. They were using rigid cells. It's a good filter, but doesn't last very long. Bulky, heavy, packed one per box. You have to haul 20, 30, 40 of these up to a rooftop. That's a very labor intense job. Whereas with our multi-wedge 95s, they're packed 3 per box, much lighter in weight, much easier to handle, and they lasted 2 years versus 6 months. So talk about decreasing labor intensity. This is what they look like, non-collapsing. They worked out just fine, had no issues. And again, we cut that budget big time. So ultimately, what we ended up doing was for the hotel casino, we cut the budget in half. At the time, it was the mid 2000s. Their budget was a little over $90,000 annual budget. We cut it to $42,000 annually. On top of that, the benefits, that story, the engineer telling me that he used to see a haze, and after converting to our product, clear, no haze whatsoever. I mean, that's what happens when you have a healthy HVAC system running efficiently. And for the hospital, what we ended up doing, same thing, cutting the budget more than half, because the pre-filters were being changed, I believe, every 2 months, the pleats, and then their final filters, which were rigid cells, were being changed every 6 months. With our links, We've got 3 to 4 months, even longer if they wanted to. They just changed them. And then our multi-wedge 95s, 2 years, biannual, cutting that filter budget in half, more than half. So there you have it. That's how I know that if you are at all interested in longer lasting filters, better performing filters that will cut your budget in half, give me a call. I'll help you. I'll be more than glad to help you. Anyhow, hope you enjoyed. Have a good one.